Hello and welcome back to another episode of Courts This Week, your go-to source for the latest legal updates presented by LiveLaw. I'm Saif Ali Hussain, your host, and I'm here to take you through and break down the most significant updates from the week. From the corridors of the Supreme Court to local judicial proceedings, I'll be providing you with clear and concise summaries that keep you informed and ahead of the curve. Remember, for a more in-depth understanding, do visit LiveLaw's website at www.livelaw.in. In today's episode, we cover the Delhi High Court Senior Designation Row, Manipur violence, the RG Kar rape murder case, and much more. I'll start with the headlines and then we'll dive into the details. Stay tuned till the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the LiveLaw channel. Nobody gets better treatment because of senior gown. Supreme Court rejects challenge to Delhi High Court's senior designations. Supreme Court seeks forensic report on audio tapes alleging Manipur CM Biren Singh's role in ethnic violence. Supreme Court refuses to stop police investigation on statements before Justice Hema committee regarding women's exploitation in Malayalam cinema. Can't delay deportation, saying address not known. Supreme Court asks Assam government to initiate process to deport 63 persons declared as foreigners. Supreme Court allows all disabled candidates to take scribe in exams without meeting benchmark disabilities. Supreme Court rejects NHAI plea to prospectively apply 2019 judgment allowing solatium and interest for national highway land acquisitions. Supreme Court refuses to hear petitions challenging 2019 UAPA amendments, says High Court must decide first. Wife separated from first husband can claim maintenance from second husband, though first marriage not legally dissolved. Supreme Court. Supreme Court transfers petitions challenging CLAT 2025 results to Delhi High Court. Calcutta High Court rejects West Bengal government's appeal against RG Kar convict's life sentence, admits CBI's appeal. Now, let's go over the major legal developments from this week in more detail. The Supreme Court has dismissed a petition filed by Advocate Matthews J. Nedumpara challenging the Delhi High Court's decision to confer senior designations on 70 advocates. A bench of Justices B.R. Gavai and K. Vinod Chandran heard the matter. Earlier, the court had reprimanded the petitioner for alleging nepotism in the process and warned of contempt action if those claims were not deleted from the petition. When the court asked Nedumpara to name judges whose relatives had been designated as senior advocates, he submitted a chart detailing Supreme Court judges with close relatives in the legal profession. During the hearing this week, Justice Gavai, however, remarked that no lawyer receives preferential treatment in the Supreme Court solely for wearing a senior gown. Nedumpara countered, stating that this was not the perception among junior lawyers. However, without further discussion, the court dismissed the petition. Notably, last week, the Supreme Court had dismissed a similar challenge to the Delhi High Court's senior designations. In 2023, the court had also rejected Nedumpara's writ petition challenging the constitutionality of Sections 16 and 23 Clause 5 of the Advocates Act, which classify lawyers as senior advocates and grant them pre-audience rights, respectively. This week, the Supreme Court sought a forensic report on audio tapes allegedly containing statements by Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh, purportedly admitting to facilitating ethnic violence in the state. The tapes reportedly feature Singh claiming that he allowed Meitei groups to loot a state armory and protected them from arrest. A bench of Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Sanjay Kumar was hearing a plea by the Kuki Organization for Human Rights Trust, which demanded an independent investigation. Advocate Prashant Bhushan, representing the petitioner, stated that private forensic lab Truth Labs had authenticated the tapes, confirming with over 93% accuracy that the voice belonged to Singh. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the state, opposed the plea, arguing that the petitioner should approach the High Court first. He also informed the court that an FIR had already been registered and an investigation was underway, including verification of the Twitter accounts that circulated the tapes. Additionally, he claimed that the petitioner had a separatist mindset and ideological biases. Bhushan countered by asserting that private forensic reports often hold more credibility than government reports. The Supreme Court has now directed the authorities to submit the forensic report in a sealed cover. The matter is scheduled for the week commencing March 24th. The Supreme Court has refused to interfere with the Kerala High Court's directive to register FIRs based on statements given to the Justice Hema Committee regarding the sexual exploitation of women in the Malayalam film industry. The Kerala High Court had ruled that any testimony revealing possible criminal offences must be treated as information under Section 173 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita 2023 and directed the Special Investigation Team or the SIT to take appropriate action. Film producer Sajimon Parail challenged this order in the Supreme Court, arguing that the statements were meant for academic study, not for criminal prosecution. Two women actors who testified before the committee also approached the court, stating that they had no intention of triggering criminal proceedings. One of them added that her testimony was based on hearsay. A bench of Justices Vikram Nath, Sanjay Karol and Sandeep Mehta ruled that once a cognizable offence is reported, police are duty-bound to investigate. The court further noted that the Kerala High Court is already monitoring the investigation and advised any witness facing harassment to approach the High Court. The Supreme Court has pulled up the Assam government for delaying the deportation of individuals declared as foreigners, citing lack of address details as an excuse. A bench of Justices Abhay S. Oak and Ujjal Bhuyan stressed that indefinite detention in such cases is unacceptable. Justice Oak clarified that deportation should not be stalled merely because a precise residential address is unavailable. He suggested that, for instance, if a person is from Pakistan, they could be sent to Islamabad rather than requiring an exact street address. Senior advocate Colin Gonzalez, representing the petitioner, argued that Bangladesh was refusing to accept these individuals as its citizens, leading to their prolonged detention. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta countered that detention centers are not like traditional jails and that detainees are entitled to bail after 2 years if they can furnish 2 Indian sureties. The court directed the Assam government to start deportation proceedings for 63 individuals whose nationalities are confirmed and file a status report within 2 weeks. The center has also been asked to provide data on past deportations and purpose a solution for those whose nationality remains unverified. The matter is now listed for February 25th. In a significant ruling, the Supreme Court has permitted all disabled candidates to avail scribes in examinations, even if they do not meet the benchmark disability criteria under the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. A bench of Justices J.B. Pardewala and R. Mahadevan granted relief to the petitioner, Gulshan Kumar, who suffers from focal hand dystonia, a neurological condition affecting hand movement. He had sought a scribe for an examination conducted by the Institute of Banking Personnel Selection, or the IBPS. The court relied on its 2021 judgment in Vikas Kumar versus UPSC, where a civil services aspirant with writer's cramp was allowed a scribe despite the 2018 examination rules limiting such assistance to blind candidates or those with severe locomotor disabilities. The ruling ensures that candidates with functional disabilities that impair writing ability can request scribes, even if their disability is not recognized as a benchmark disability. The court reaffirmed that examination accommodations must be inclusive and accessible to all disabled candidates. In a significant ruling this week, the Supreme Court dismissed the National Highway Authority of India's plea to limit the applicability of its 2019 judgment in Union of India versus Tarsayam Singh. The 2019 verdict had declared a part of Section 3J of the National Highways Act 1956 unconstitutional for denying landowners solatium and interest benefits that were otherwise available under the Land Acquisition Act 1894. The court had held that landowners whose property was acquired for highways must receive the same benefits, including solatium and interest on compensation. as provided under sections 23(1)(a), 23 clause 2 and 28 of the Land Acquisition Act. Following this, the NHAI sought clarification on whether this ruling would apply prospectively, effectively preventing the reopening of compensation determinations that had attained finality. A bench of Justices Suryakant and Ujjwal Bhuyan rejected this request, stating that granting such clarification would defeat the very purpose of the Tarsim Singh ruling, which was meant to ensure just compensation for landowners affected between 1997 and 2015. The court, however, clarified that old, settled cases would not be reopened, but warned that modifying or restricting the judgment would undermine judicial finality. Criticizing NHAI's attempt to evade liability and delay payments, the court directed authorities to calculate and disperse solatium and interest in accordance with Tarsim Singh's decision. The Supreme Court has declined to entertain petitions challenging the 2019 amendments to the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act or the UAPA, directing that the High Courts should hear such cases first. The 2019 amendments gave the central government the power to designate individuals, not just organizations, as terrorists. The matter was being heard by a bench comprising Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justices Sanjay Kumar and K.V. Vishwanathan. During the hearing, senior advocate C.U. Singh, appearing for the petitioners, argued that the case had been pending before the Supreme Court for 5 years and that similar constitutional questions were already being examined by the court. However, the Chief Justice maintained that since the Supreme Court should not act as a court of first instance, the challenge must be heard by the High Court before reaching the apex court. The petitioners then requested that rather than dismissing their petitions, they be transferred to the Delhi High Court. The court accepted this request, allowing the matters to be heard by the Delhi High Court instead of being dismissed outright. In an important ruling this week, the Supreme Court has held that a woman can claim maintenance from her second husband under Section 125 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, even if her first marriage was not legally dissolved. The case involved a woman whose second husband refused to provide maintenance on the ground that her first marriage was still legally subsiding. A bench comprising Justices B.V. Nagaratna and Satish Chandra Sharma set aside a Telangana High Court order that had denied the woman maintenance, restoring the family court's decision in her favor. The Supreme Court emphasized that the second husband was fully aware of her first marriage when he entered into matrimony with her. The couple lived together, they had a child, and later got separated due to marital issues or disputes. Rejecting the second husband's argument that she was not legally his wife, the court held that under Section 125 CRPC, a woman's financial vulnerability must be considered, and maintenance cannot be denied merely due to the absence of a formal divorce decree. The court further stressed that maintenance is a legal and moral duty, particularly in a society where homemakers often lack financial independence. The Supreme Court has ordered the transfer of all petitions challenging the results of the Common Law Admission Test or CLAT 2025 to the Delhi High Court. These petitions, currently pending before the High Courts of Delhi, Karnataka, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Bombay, Madhya Pradesh and Punjab and Haryana, challenge the results of the CLAT 2025 exam held in December 2024 for admissions to national law universities. A bench comprising Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justices P.V. Sanjay Kumar and K.V. Vishwanathan passed the transfer order in response to a plea by the Consortium of National Law Universities. Previously, a single-judge bench of the Delhi High Court had ruled that 2 answers in the CLAT UG 2025 exam were incorrect and directed the consortium to revise results accordingly. When the consortium appealed, the division bench observed that there was no apparent error in the single judge's findings. Initially, the Supreme Court has considered transferring all the cases to the Punjab and Haryana High Court, as the first petition had been filed there. However, the bench ultimately decided that all matters should be consolidated before the Delhi High Court for a uniform resolution. The court has directed all high courts to transfer the pending records within 7 days. Additionally, it issued a general directive that any future challenges regarding CLAT 2025 should also be brought before the Delhi High Court. In a major development this week, the Calcutta High Court rejected an appeal filed by the West Bengal government against the life sentence awarded to Sanjoy Roy, convicted for the brutal rape and murder of a trainee doctor at Kolkata's RG Kar Medical College. However, the court admitted a separate appeal filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation, or the CBI, which had handled the case. A division bench comprising Justices Debangshu Basak and Shabbar Rashidi heard the matter. The state government and the CBI had both sought the death penalty for the convict, but the trial court ruled that the crime did not fall within the rarest of rare category and sentenced him to life imprisonment instead. The CBI, however, opposed the state's appeal on procedural grounds, arguing that only the central government had the authority to challenge the verdict, since the case was investigated by a central agency. Last month, after hearing extensive arguments from the Advocate General of West Bengal and Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju representing the CBI, the court reserved its decision. This week, the bench ruled in favor of the CBI's appeal while rejecting the state's plea, marking another legal chapter in this high-profile case. And that's a wrap for this week's Legal News Roundup. But before I bid adieu, the entire LiveLaw team has a small request for their dedicated viewers. As an independent and fact-driven media organization, LiveLaw is deeply committed to fearless and ethical journalism. To continue bringing you the latest legal updates, especially in this dynamic audio-visual format, they rely on your support. Here's how you can help. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Share it with your family, friends, classmates, and colleagues. Make sure you're subscribed to LiveLaw's YouTube channel for more insightful content. Drop your valuable thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. And hit that bell icon to stay updated with the latest releases. Do not forget to visit LiveLaw's website at www.livelaw.in for in-depth reports and analysis. Not only this, but the LiveLaw channel offers memberships for only ₹89 per month. You can become a part of LL supporters to access exclusive perks such as loyalty badges next to your name in the comments and live chat, priority reply to comments, and for the student pass audience, early access to explainers and legal updates. I'm your host, Saif Ali Hussain, and it's been a pleasure bringing you this week's Legal News Roundup. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay tuned to LiveLaw. Thank you for watching.